seeing or what you guys are seeing or what you guys are hearing out there. So let's let's make this a little interactive. I will pause and ask for to answer some questions and ask for questions and things of that nature. So let's start it off with a question. When you saw this title, Creating Urgencies to Buy, what what were you thinking? Like what made you want to come and hear this class and be a part of this class? So why are you here? Go ahead, Dawn.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. For one, I have been working with buyers and I was just a buyer myself. And so I know some of the stuff to say or some of the questions to ask them. But right now, to try to get more people to be a little bit more a little bit more anxious, not anxious, but anyway, I needed to know from you or from the group, what else can I say or can I do? I mean, I talked about the interest rates, how they're not coming down. So don't try and wait for them to come down because they're not going to. I try to talk about all these different aspects just so it will give them a little bit more power to move quickly, So I was just hoping to get something out of this course that will help me with potential buyers. And then even those that I'm currently trying to get as clients, they're still kind of like, well, I may, I'm thinking about it. I need you to be a client.
Yeah.
So if there's anything you guys can offer that will help with, something. So when I saw the title, I was like, okay, I need to get in there just so I can, get a little bit more comfortable and have more verbiage, I guess.
Got it. I totally understand. I'm definitely going to highly suggest also too throughout, because the market, we're starting to shift into that market where we'll start to hear more buyer remorse and more objections, things that we need to overcome. A daily thing that you can do, Dawn, is make sure that you join on the James Shaw shift calls in the morning. That's a great way to start your day. I believe it starts at like 8:20.
Okay.
And I believe Casey and or Deanna, one of them are on this call. Maybe you can, they can drop the link or drop the where you can go to get on that call, okay?
Okay,
in the
perfect.
chat. So it'll be in there sometime during this hour. But that's a great way to start because he's having these conversations constantly every day. As you saw, we just had a, there it is, pivot shift ahead. It's in the chat. Bookmark that, but because I would say get on that every morning. And then another thing is, yesterday I did a buyer panel. Those were some of our top buyer transaction agents so far this year. And you saw I asked a lot of questions yesterday to them and they were having it. So just have the conversation, find a tribe that you can just bounce things off of, okay? And even if that's me, I would love to be included in that. So, but that's great. I think we're going to cover all of those things. And I said 8:30. It looks like it's 8 to 8:20. So don't expect to get a rewrite. I saw you write 8:30 down. So 8 to 8:20 every morning. So let's. I'm going to go ahead. I think we got everybody on here. I think some more people will probably jump in, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Go through a power deck. A lot of the things that you're going to see in here, you can find in the shift book, because it's the same thing. Some of it will be pertain to what the market that we're in. Most of it, but some of it will be a lot of it, or some of it will be buyer age. I mean, when we were in the buyer market, but it's still urgency within our buyers. So let me go ahead and share my screen back. All right, cool. So these are the main ideas that we're gonna tackle today. Perspective on creating urgency. Why is that important? We're going to talk about a little bit what I said yesterday, where we have to sharpen our skills. So we're going to need to be the expert. We're going to find some outlets on where we can gain talking points, material, and things of that nature. Creating a best buy list. This was kind of when the market was crashing. It was more like a buyer market, and a lot of investor was getting in the market. So I think tactic number 3 was that. But also, we will talk about creating a best buy market in terms of best homes that are priced right for your clients. Because right now, sellers, it's been a seller market for the last few years, so they're unrealistic right now. So you will run across listings that's going to be well out of price and all of that. That only fuels the fire. If you run into unrealistic sellers, that only fuels the buyer's fire to not want to buy anything. That only messes them up even more. So we need to know what are the best deals before we even present that stuff to our clients, right? So we'll learn how to do that a little bit. We'll talk about doing your homework, and then we'll finding it for them. So we're treating buyers like listings right now. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Facilitate decision making. We got a lot of buyers that are like totally, one day they'll see a headline on the news and like, oh, I'm totally not buying. And then they'll call you and say, hey, I want to see these 5 houses. So we'll facilitate and see how we can guide that on the front end, them making a decision on what they want to do. And then we'll cover the bottom line. So those are the 7 things that we're going to cover today. So let's dive right in. Perspective on creating urgency. Where are buyers finding, this is where I get interactive, guys. Where are buyers finding their information on, what is the media saying right now, basically?
That the interest rate is like 6 point something right now, and it's a shortage on homes, and they have to have cash to buy.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we know there's a shortage on homes, right? We know the interest rates are going up, but one thing the media is not saying to the buyers is we're still at a historically low rate. If you look across the industry from 1990 to 2020, the rates are still, they were like 6 point something %, right? We're still below that. Now we're itching up to that, but that's the median line. We've just been spoiled where the rates have been lower over these last few years. So those are the type of things that we're going to need to know so that we can tell our people that historically we're still in a great time to buy. Because we know buyers fear paying too much. We know that. We know they're hearing from the industry. So we know that buyers don't have any sense of urgency in this market because of those things. So many agents also think it's not a good time to buy, but though we don't want to be those agents. That's why I'm glad you guys are in classes like this. And that's why we have to have this conversation, because of all of these challenges we have before us. All right. And where agents who are not being educated, I literally had a 30-minute conversation with an agent about a week ago by them saying it's not a good time for someone to buy. And this was an agent. Thank God it wasn't one of our agents, but in her response to me was, you're debating everything I'm saying. I said, because I'm talking facts. You're talking about the media. You're an expert. You have to dig deeper than what the media is going to do. So anyway, those are our challenges. But the truth is, people are buying and selling homes in this market, right? We just had a record-breaking month in this market center. We had last month, I don't know if we broke a record, but we were really high in contracts written. So that means somebody's out there buying houses even at 5.5%, right? Right. And just what, 8 months ago it was 3%. So and then the other truth is no one can truly time the market, right? So these are 2 things that you can use if someone's telling you, is it now a good time? Just show them, just say, you know what? In our market area, we over 400 and something homes went under contract last month, right? The previous month, it was 380. So more people were buying right now. So, know those numbers. And those are not real numbers, by the way, but you can find those numbers from Georgia MLS. We need to know those numbers. We need to be able to tell that story. People are buying homes. And then you also can always tell them, no one can truly time the market. You just can't happen. Was it a great time to buy 8 months ago? Of course. The next best time is right now. So then the solution is you have to be the expert. You have to know the market. So you have to have a publication or something that you're looking at. One great one is Keeping Current Matters. I think I don't know how much it is, maybe like $100 for the year, but they give great information. I was looking at it today and they were talking about home appreciation, home depreciation. So appreciation is when it's gaining equity. Depreciation is when it's losing. And then they had another term, deceleration. And they said that's what we'll see over the next, several years, is we'll see a deceleration. That's not a depreciation. Deceleration is that the houses will still appreciate, just not as fast as they were appreciating over the last few years. You can use that to talk to buyers when they say, well, I don't want to buy, and then, the bottom fall out. Well, that's not expected. The expectations is, yeah, homes will still appreciate because of the inventory being low. However, it just won't do it at a rate of 17, 20% as it's been doing, which is unheard of. It'll still appreciate, at 4, 5, 6% each year. So we got to know that, right? And the way you find out is joining some type of publication. When we post stuff, making sure that you steal it, go to KW Connect. You have to become the expert. And then listen to buyers, guys. You have to, you see that's all cap. Listen, because buyers will tell you what they're thinking. They'll tell you what they're hearing. And then you can go do research, or you may already know the answer. And then you can come back, because a lot of them are hearing and thinking the same thing. Pay attention to pricing and condition, right? There's a market, and you can price a house, and you'll see this in a little bit, for any market. Trust me, you can price a house for any market, and you can find a house that matches your buyer needs. Look, that's the next one. Match your buyer needs in any market. But you have to know and pay attention to what the market is doing. And then lessen fears about buying. That's that same deceleration versus depreciation talk that I just talked about. And then selling the dream of home ownership. It's not about rates. We talked about this yesterday. It's not about rates or anything. It's about making sure that that buyer become a homeowner for all the right reasons, right? And then find good, reliable mortgage programs. I can't tell you enough how important it is to get in partnership and in business with the right mortgage person. You have to do that because they can help do a lot of the heavy lifting. Your team is so important, guys. Yes, Patricia. I think I got Patricia, then we're going to come to you, Rita. Go ahead.
Your screen's not advancing. I think that's what Rita's going to tell you as well.
Why?
Your screen, the slides are not advancing. It's stuck
Wow.
It's stuck on current urgency to buy.
Okay, let me see what's going on. Let me stop sharing and go back. Thank you. Can y'all see it now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, well, I finished all this slide. All right, this was a career growth initiative. This was something that we rolled out probably like 8 or 9 years ago. It's been a while. It's just a flow chart of, what your business should look like. All right, we don't have to get into this. Now let's talk about being the expert. guys, you have to invest your time in doing research. When I mentioned sharpening your skills, I think yesterday, actually, at team meeting, when I mentioned sharpen your skill, that's what I'm talking about. Investing time in doing research so that when questions come up from buyers, you know what the market is speaking, what the market is actually doing. As you can look at number 5, it says doing market research. Coming to team meeting, we're going to always pour into this, over the next, I want to say next couple of years, we're going to have this conversation. So making sure that you're doing market research. You don't stop doing all the other things. That's why number 5 is highlighted, because that's most important right now. However, you never stop lead generating. You never stop following up with leads. You never stop making appointments and sitting down with people belly to belly. You never stop negotiating contracts. We're just making sure that we adding and doubling down on watching what the market is doing. Because as you lead generate, guess what? You're going to find more confused people because they're hearing something from the media. They're forming their own opinion. They're running across bad agents. I'm telling you, I just talked to one. She told me that this is not a great time for somebody to buy a house. Really? So as you lead generate, you're gonna run across those people. But if you are studying the market and doing research, then guess what? You'll win that person over because you'll have logic and you'll have things to share with them. Right. Now, being an expert also, the tale of two markets, if you look on the left, you see price versus comps, right? That's that far left line. And it or the house price, is the house price below the market or above the market? And then the bottom line said conditions versus comps, right? Is it in great condition or poor condition, right? So what it's saying is, if you have a house and you're priced above the comps, or even midway or above, a little over midway or above the comps, and the house is not in that great of condition, guess what? You're pricing yourself out of the market, right? So when you're doing research, just take a visual of this. When you're doing research for your buyers and you're sending them properties, you need to kind of know the market to see, is this above? How is this house? Does it have really good curb appeal? What's going on with it, right? And you can kind of gauge this a little bit from the MLS system before you actually shoot the house to the person, right? Or if you shoot it to them, you can kind of dig a little deeper before you put it on the caravan list to go look at. If it's way outside of this market, if it's in that light yellow portion, then I'm not wasting my time showing that to that buyer, because it's only going to add to their frustration once they go see it, even if they like it, and the house not going to appraise. It's just going to be a disaster and you're wasting your time. When I say buyer urgent, when this class says buyer urgency, these are the things that we're talking about, is making sure that we have a refined list and we kind of somewhat know if our buyers are going to have a fighting chance to get the home that they want. And then another one is, if it's a seller's market, which is, look, what we're in now, above that line, that in the market is going to be a lot bigger, basically. Almost a lot of the properties are. So right now, or we're in a buyer's market or a seller's market?
Sellers.
Right, exactly. So that the chances of the houses that we're going to be showing our clients is definitely smaller right now, right? But when we're showing those homes, guess what it does? Add to the frustration, right? A lot of the stuff is going to be in the market right now. But if it starts that, but you'll start to see that in the market start to shrink because these sellers have been spoiled and they're gonna leave their house priced above. And we've been saying it for a minute, sellers don't have to do anything, just put it on the market, right? Well, that's changing. That's changing. So watch that. That's all I'm saying. That's where it is right now. I don't even think it's that big right now, but it is bigger than the out of the market. All right. So I just wanted to show you those two. And then buyer's market, we just kind of looked at that. Good time to buy. When is a good time to buy a house?
Now.
Today.
Now.
Exactly. Now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right now.
Thank you, y'all scared me. All right, that was slow. Yeah,
We're on
absolutely.
mute.
Okay.
We gotta push the
Find the
mute
mute
button.
button.
All right, guys. I'll spare y'all. But no, reasons to buy. Mortgage interest rates are low and stable. Is that helping us right now?
No.
No, exactly. Home prices have become more affordable. No. Inventory is high.
No.
No. Strong economy.
No.
The economy is strong.
It's so. It's
Yeah.
so.
Economy is strong. Job like so look, low unemployment, like low unemployment is the lowest of all time right now. So the 4 and 5 are in play right now. Like the economy is doing so well, they're trying to slow it down. That's the inflation. The economy is doing so well that they're trying to slow it down right now. So 4 and 5 is the reason. That's the reason why we're not having depreciation. We're only having deceleration in home values. Remember what I said a minute ago? That's strongly due to 4 and 5. So those are the reasons that we need to stick our teeth into for someone to buy right now. 4 and 5. We can't use the top 3. Those aren't in a buyer's favor right now. But strong economy, meaning it's a good time to buy because your employment's good, you're this, and you don't have to worry about the house depreciating, right? Because people are employed. By the time that unemployment starts to go all the way up, you've appreciated in your home. So 4 and 5 are things that if you want to go down that road or had to go down that road with a buyer, then those are some strong points to kind of talk about when being a home ownership. It'll kind of dispel that, or we about to fall off a cliff. No, economy is too strong. It's so strong that they're raising rates to slow it down, right? And then ask, do you want to risk missing a house that is perfect for you because you're waiting for a sliver of savings that may or may not be there? That's a good one, guys. I would write that down.
That's a good one.
I think Rodney alluded to something like this the other day. Like, some people saying, if you're waiting on the recession and prices to go down and all of that, how do you know where you're going to be on the other side of that recession?
That's right.
What if you lose your job, right? At least if you bought a house and you're gaining equity in it, you'd have that going and you'd already be in the house, right? Because you don't know where you would end up. So this is a good one. Do you want to risk missing a house that is perfect for you because you're waiting for a sliver of savings that may or may not be there? That's a good statement. Yep. And then I want you to think about something. What tools do you use to communicate your knowledge of the economy and local market? What tools are out there that you guys can use?
Like you say, the Georgia MLS.
Yes.
Get numbers from there.
Patricia, you're the student of the day so far. I love it. Absolutely. I mean, that's first and foremost, right? Is that, and then I mentioned keeping current matters. There's some other ones, Inman News, there's different places that you can go and get stuff. KW Connect, people put articles and cool stuff in there all the time. Heck, I would even say our Team Tucker Facebook page. We put content out there, our agents put content out there. And then we have another resource page, KW Tucker Online. I always mess this up, I think, I don't know. Put it in the chat, y'all know what I'm trying to say. It's our resource link. We have a link tree that has a lot of cool information, like this video will probably be up on there as well. So know where to go, guys. Know where to go to be the expert. Anybody using anything different on where you're getting information or what tools you're using to make yourself the expert?
What is that thing called?
No? All right, guys, you got to find some places. You don't have to be a million of them. It's just one place where you can go to get your information.
Yeah, I was gonna say my lender, him and his underwriting team, they have a lot of information.
Yeah. So, right. Just being in business with great people and knowing that. Cool. All right. So let's talk about best buys. Here's where this deck gets a little dated. But best buys can be anywhere. REOs, guys, don't let anybody tell you there's gonna become an influx of REO properties or anything like that out there. Don't let there's certain buyers that'll be in the market that, you know, their uncle or even them or their parents or somebody took advantage of the crash back in 2007 to 2012. And REOs was the big thing. They was buying them at like, you know, 30 cents on the dollar. So $100,000 house was going for 30,000, right? And they're waiting on that to come back because of interest rates going up and the government doing things to stop inflation. So they're like, oh man, REOs are going to come back. No, the average person has $70,000, $80,000 in equity in their home. It'll be a long time before something like that happens because they can still sell their house. And remember what I said, houses are not depreciating. They're not going down, right? They're not appreciating to the tune of 17-20% as they were the last few years, but they're not dropping drastically to where there's going to be a REO. My coach, my business coach, my MAPS coach, he had dinner actually with the CEO of Fannie Mae a couple of weeks ago. And they do not expect nowhere near an influx of REO properties at all. All right. So those first two HUDs, REOs, that's not coming into play. And trust me, buyers will ask about those because they think, oh man, interest rates going up like this, and the media is scaring them enough that just because we're slowing down in the market, that we're headed to that kind of market again. Not gonna happen. And they will approach you with, I've been approached with. I got people saying, I want some REOs. Somebody tell you they're looking for REOs, call me. I'll help you walk through that conversation. It's not, market is not coming. Foreclosed list, you might as well add that there as well. Nobody's foreclosing, trust me. They have equity. For sale by owners, yes. Because some people will have so much equity, they don't even understand what the market is doing. They don't understand that they can sell for a profit, so they want to cut you out. You'll start to see more FSBOs come on the market now. You will start to see some FSBOs, and that's what's winning right now. We have an agent, several agents that are new and old that are winning these FSBOs. They're getting across the threshold and they're winning, getting listings for sale by owners. So that's a good resource right now. And then price reductions in the MLS. We're starting to see a few price reductions. Let's watch that. So this is one of those things that I said you guys will be able to find on Team Tucker, because I was just challenged by this group that I'm in every day. We meet for like 30 minutes. And one of the things the guy that lead that group is saying, watch price reductions. So I'll be watching this for you also. And you can do it in Georgia MLS too, but I should be giving you guys this number every week. Like how many price reductions we're seeing. All right, so we'll watch that number. New homes on the market, and then builder promotions. We're starting to see builders do a little bit of price reduction, and we're starting to see builders give promotions again, guys. So watch for that. We're starting to see builders give promotions again. So those last four, I would have those heavy on my radar if I'm working with buyers right now. FSBOs, price reduction, and don't forget, you still can be paid by a FSBO. You just got to do that permission to show unlisted property, because that will commit the seller to giving you a commission before you take your buyer and turn your buyer on to something like that. Get that permission first. Watch for price reductions, because if they're going down that slippery slope of reducing that price, remember I said they have the equity. You may can even go in lower than what they reduced it to and win that for your buyer. Look for these things for your buyers in certain markets, because that could be a seller. So let me walk you through an example. If Jordan lets me list her house and she says, I know the house needs to be listed at 450, but she's determined, because the market we were just coming out of, we're shifting out of, would have gotten her 500 like 6 or 7 months ago, easy, right? But we're not in that market right now. So she lists at 500. Now she really needs to move. So in two weeks or so, she drops it down to what I suggested at first, 450, right? She only owes like 225 on it. If I saw that price reduction so soon, so drastic, I'm calling Jordan's agent and I'm saying, I have a buyer. You may be a little bit out of their price range, but I'm going to send you over an offer. I would send that offer over at 420. You'd probably get that house for 430. You see what I'm saying? Look for price reductions for your clients, because some people that can only afford 430 wouldn't have never even looked at that 450 house, because their agent is not smart enough to see that this person is chasing the market and they probably really need to be somewhere. So that's what it means by saying, look at price reductions in MLS. This list is a great list to find buyers, find properties that other people may not be checking for so much for your buyers. Remember, this conversation is about buyers, getting these buyers out of your pipeline. And like I said, builder promotions, they're doing promotion. That means they got inventory coming up and they're not playing that other game. They're realizing the market that they're in. And so those last four, I think, are really strong right now. Those last four are really strong. Talk to some of your builder contacts. We have a lot of builder relationships in this office. I guarantee you, I was actually just talking to Jenny Moore. She told me they're doing builder promotions right now. They're Century, they're doing builder promotions. So make sure that you guys are looking for those, because those are the people who want to move units. Those last four, they're ready to move units. So don't just be stuck so much on what's new to the market and all of that. Start looking deeper into that. You can find some of those homes. Any questions, feedback, or anything on that? All right, cool. So now let's we kind of talked a lot about doing your homework already, but let's move on. Does the market agree? Time on the market, list price, condition, selling price. So time on market, no, it's still pretty low. List price, you know, if they're priced out of the market, we just looked at that graphic, then, you know, we're not we're not showing those to our clients. What's the condition of the home, right? And then we're looking at selling price. What ratio list price to sales price is actually we're seeing right now? I could tell you that's still pretty much hovering around that 100%. That will start to change. What I mean, if like for the example I just gave, if Jordan lists at 500,000 and then she end up selling at 430, well, that's about 90-something% to list price. Right now, someone listing at 5, on average, they're still getting 5, right? So that's why if you look at the previous slide, if you look here and I said price reduction in the MLS, that's why if you do see some of these, they're going to be golden for your client, because some people are still getting 100%, but that's going to change. So watch for, you get ahead of the game and watch for price reductions for your clients. There's a way you can go in and search price reductions actually in a certain price range too. So watch that. That's a benefit for your buyer. Use your list. Don't give the list out. Offer access to the best buys. What that means is if you're out there doing this research that we just talked about, finding great FSBO deals, finding price reduced deals, then there's nothing wrong with you sending that out to your database saying, man, in this market, this house is listed, 90 or 13% below market value right now, right? If they did a price reduction. You just want to sift out people too, people that may be on the fence and finding some reason to buy a home. Give them some good news. That's good news. If there's a price reduction or there's a house priced below market value, that's good news. Send that out. And then show houses on your list to your clients. So if you create all this good news stuff, even if it's a house that's out of their price range, not in their area, you just want to share the good news, right? And then say, all right, I know this is in Marietta and we're looking in Gwinnett, but these are the type of things that deals that I'm looking for you for in Gwinnett. Give them some hope, because they're hearing nothing but the bad news, all right, or things that are not in their favor. Those type of things that they're hearing will make them say, I'm just going to wait. But if you're giving them some hope, then they'll stay enthused and look for that silver lining. All right, find it for them. Ask about their motivation. I think right now, every one of you guys should be doing buyer consultations. I will not just let someone tell me I'm qualified for 450. I already got my pre-approval. This is the area I want to be in. And then I just put them in my car and we go out. It's not the market for that, guys. You need to have some type of buyer consultation with them. And if you go on KW Connect, there's different buyer consultation sheets, different questions you can ask to get in relationship so that you know. But these are some of the highlights. Are they relocating? Are they not satisfied with their current home? Did their lifestyle change? Did they have a kid? Did kids move out? What are they doing? Move up, move down? Or is this a second home investment? Did they just sell their house? Or they need to sell a house? Or are they coming out of a rental? So did they, or is it an investment property, right? Those are some of the key things you want to know so that you know what their urgency is. If somebody's telling you they're buying an investment property, how urgent do you really think they're going to be? Unless it's just a great deal, they're not, right? But if somebody just sold their home, they're probably needing, they're a little more urgent. They need somewhere to stay, right? So meet with them, talk to them, do all of those things up front. Have a buyer consultation. Do that up front. Advantages of home ownership. We already talked about this a little bit. It's not depreciating, it's decelerating. So it still will appreciate. So they're building equity. One of the biggest things is the tax break. A lot of people don't realize that. They get a huge tax break for being a homeowner, right? And then it's somewhat of an investment. They still need to go into it to enjoy the home. But when it says investment here, I tread lightly on that. I'll just say, you know, you're not getting a return on your money if you're renting. You have to have somewhere to stay. So why not invest in yourself, right? I wouldn't make them think that they're in this investment and they're going to walk away with all this money. They're enjoying it, and over time, it definitely will build equity, and that's already been addressed. So I wouldn't go in like they're going to make all this money off of it, but they will return a lot of their money, you know, when they sell their home, or it will continue to build equity. So show what they'll buy, knowing what they need and what they want. That's more of that buyer consultation, knowing their family, knowing their lifestyle, you know, are they working from home? Things of that nature, and you're kind of looking for little nuances and places that maybe they can work inside the home, different space, open floor plans and things of that nature. And if you know that, you kind of know where the areas are, the best buys in the marketplace, wherever they're looking at. So by knowing that person, or they're a type of person that likes to run, they need something, you know, kind of near a town center. You know, you got to ask those questions, because that helps take away that frustration that you'll start to see with a lot of the buyers right now. And it'll help keep that urgency going, because somebody can be urgent today and they get worn down after seeing all these houses and putting in all these offers, and that urgency goes away. But if you're showing them the best of the best, it's going to be a match made in heaven. You're going to catch them while they're urgent, and you're going to find them exactly what they're looking for. So know the best buys in the area, you know, and it helps you know if they're real also. So it helps you know if they're you know, really serious about buying it, especially if you know it's a great deal, it's everything that they said they want. If they start backpedaling, then you know what you're in for. You're gonna have to dig a little deeper and see you know, what is it that they really want. And then buyers who want a deal, how many times have we heard that? So what are you looking for? I want a deal, right? That can mean anything. That's so broad. So find out what their definition of a deal is, you know, and see if that can happen. See if that can happen. And then if they want such a great deal, guess what? A lot of times, if someone want a deal on a house, what are they going to have to do when they close on that deal?
They're probably gonna end up having to pay more in closing.
Or do more work, or they're gonna have to put some work into the house.
They're gonna have to put.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to put some work into the house, right?
Yeah.
100%. That's the number one answer. And then also, if they find a great deal, one of the consequences, they may have a longer commute to work if they're still going into the office. And if Elon Musk has anything to do with it, they'll be going into the office real soon, right? He wants everybody back in the office. But so that's a consequence that they may have to give up, that they may be somewhere far out, right? Or a consequence could be, it may not be in the best of the school district. So when you say a deal, what are they willing to sacrifice? All right, because a deal can mean all of those things. All right, so they tell you they want a deal. Say, hey, you know, what does a deal look like to you? All right. And then finding motivated buyers in homes they'll buy. We just talked about this a little bit, but I want to know what questions are most effective for determining a buyer's true needs and wants. What do we need to be asking someone that tell me that they're a buyer? Like
Do you
what?
have any kids?
Absolutely.
How many do you have?
Yep. What's the family size? Absolutely. That's kind of number one. Like who be staying in this home?
The age range of the kids would be important too.
Yep, absolutely. Age range. Or
Do you
they
work in the area?
Mm-hmm.
Do you work from home?
Yep. Yep.
Whether their parents are going to be parents or grandparents are going to be staying with them, because that'll determine the makeup of the house as far as the layout.
Yep. Absolutely.
And what's their motivation for wanting to buy right now?
Yep. Entertainment.
My
Right?
thing, yeah,
Do
I was
you
gonna say, my
entertain?
thing is how close is the shopping? Because I'm not trying to drive 30 minutes to Walmart. I'm sorry. Now with these gas prices.
Do you want
Okay.
stairs or no stairs?
Yep. Ooh, yes. Ranch on the basement. Woo.
Are they
I promise you,
considered,
my next house, that's what I'm gonna ask my realtor. I want a
Are they
ranch on the
considered,
basement. I don't want no stairs. But
Me
no,
too,
those are all
Terrell.
great. Yep.
are they
How soon
considered,
are they looking to buy?
Yep. How soon are they looking to buy? Absolutely. That I think right now, whoever just said that, that's the number one answer. How soon are you looking to buy? Because
Yep.
that will determine, you know, how their true needs, how serious they are, right? And how urgent. We're talking buyer urgency here. That was the number one answer. And then I think this is why a lot of you guys jumped on here, right? A lot of you guys jumped on here for the decision making. So features versus benefits. So features, so these are amenities, fireplace, pool, large master bedroom. And then the benefit affect the emotions. Is it a quiet area, cozy, spacious? What's the feel, right? We need to kind of know those things. When we're going through the buyer consultation, let's try to look at some of these keywords and see what someone, may lean towards more. Because remember, the thing we're trying to do right now is put these people in our car less as possible, right? We're trying to move the needle with these buyers. So knowing all this up front is super important. And then the cost of waiting to buy. One thing, they're delaying their tax benefit, right? And one thing, like I know it's a crazy, not crazy, but it's a sticky subject, and you don't have to get into all their tax business, but just you can be broad and just say, would a tax, with a 20% tax break help you or hurt you? They're definitely going to say help you, right? Well, if you were a homeowner, you probably would have paid XYZ less in taxes last year. And you could talk to a tax person to see kind of what the benefit in that certain county is for that homeowner. You can have that broad conversation, right? Why are we delaying that, right? Delay of building equity in the new home. Need to view more homes. That you're waiting. Selection of best homes is limited. If we're doing our research and sending them the best homes, guess what? You're winning. You're cutting into that time. And the market will shift, and great buys will be gone. Well, we can't use that one right now. It's shifting to kind of a deceleration market. So I wouldn't use that one, but definitely tax benefit. You're delaying building equity in your home, and then in finding the right homes for them to buy. So the selection of best homes is limited. Remove their fears if they're paying too much. If there was any class that I would tell you to take right now, and if you've taken it before, I will refresh on it. And this is being recorded, or I don't know if any of the ladies are still on here, but please remind me, we need to definitely put a CMA class on next month's on July's calendar. If you're not familiar with a CMA, it's comparative market analysis. We do these for sellers all the time. Like you would never get a listing if you didn't do a CMA, but I think we only do it for buyers about 50% of the time. And this is super important. If you sat down with a buyer and showed them a CMA on a house that they want to take what they would like to put an offer on, or even before they even start putting in offers, if they're being unrealistic, I would take a house that they kind of like, that they wanted you to put a really low offer on. If you show, or they said, I don't want to pay too much, do a CMA for them. Do a CMA for them. And that way it removes that limiting belief that they'll be paying too much money. And then of course an appraiser always trumps that, but I wouldn't, recommend them they're going to get an appraiser if they win the bid anyway. But you can assure them that, hey, an appraiser is going to be done on the home. If it's not worth it, they're not going to loan you the money. And if it's not worth it, we're not going to buy it. So a lot of buyers may not know that. If they're telling you that, I would do those two things. And then fear of making a commitment. So make sure you let them know there will be a due diligence period, albeit it's going to be short right now. And then buyback guarantee. That's something like, all right, you buy this home, I'm not going to buy it back, but I'll put it on the market for you. Right? And prices are not depreciating. So, if something else, guess what? Prices are still appreciating, not at the tune that they were, but you can still, you can always sell it, right? You can always sell it. So, and those are some of the things. And there's some other things that you can do to remove those fears as well. But those are 4 of the top ones that they shared. Incentives and concessions. Sellers still not all the way here yet. This was kind of in that FSBO REO market that these things were tops. Sellers aren't really doing carpet and paint for buyers right now. They're not paying for early move out on rental leases or nothing like that. They're not paying on your for a mortgage So this third one is when new constructions would pay your mortgage for you on the home you were buying, that you were selling. If you closed on theirs first while that one was on the market, that's not happening. They're not paying a lot of closing costs. You don't see a lot of lease purchases, mortgage buy downs. You don't see a lot of sellers financing. Yeah, there's not a lot of incentives. I'm just be honest with you right now for buyers. There was once a time back in around at 07, actually leading up to 07 and stuff, before the correction. There was people, like if you wanted me to buy your house and say you had a Mercedes-Benz in the garage, I would offer you full price for the house, but you got to give me the car. And I promise you, sellers were doing it in a heartbeat, because there was so much inventory on there. So much, they just wanted out. They were doing it. And I'm being modest saying Mercedes-Benz. I'm talking Lamborghinis, whatever. I want the house too. I want all the furniture. I want everything for just a full price offer. And seller was like, okay. This stuff, electronics, cars and all that, TVs, oh yeah, all that stayed. It's on here for a reason, guys. That stuff was happening. Well, throw this whole slide out. Forget about it. This ain't happening right now. So don't let your buyers take you down that road. That's not happening. All right. Few more slides, guys. So these are clothes you can use. Is this a house you want to buy? That's a positive close. If you love this house, someone else will too, right? So let's do what we need to do to get it. Good houses sells fast in any market. Good houses sell fast in any market, and that's part of my job is to put you in front of really good houses. So when we do find one, we're gonna have to make a move. The next person who looks at this house could make an offer, right? How many, I mean, I know I got some vets on here. I know you guys have saw how somebody was just telling me this. I can't think of what it was, but anyway, someone was just telling me this the other day that they took a client to see a house. The client wanted to think about it. They did measurements, all of this. 2 days later, they wanted to put an offer on. It was under contract. That's happening. So let them know that up front. And how would you feel if someone else bought this house tomorrow? So these are things that you close with if they're remotely interested in the house, but kind of just twiddling their thumbs, because you can always say, hey, we'll do a due diligence. You'll have time to think, but let's move on this. This is a great house. It's not going to last. I studied the market. This is a great house, great deal. You gotta close them with that, because we don't have the luxury of low interest rates on our side right now. Back when the interest rates was low, trust me, they could think about it and all of that. They wouldn't even think about it because it's like, oh, it's a no-brainer. I'm doing it. Now they don't know what the market is doing. They're gonna have some hesitation. You're gonna have to close them. Now, before we didn't. The low interest rates closed them for us, and everybody was buying. Right now, you got people hesitating. So the ones who really need to purchase, they're a little nervous. They're like, am I doing the right thing? They're kind of thinking that. So we got to help them. We got to be the sales experts right now. The bottom line is, and this bringing it all together, guys, you need to be an expert on the local market and economy. You know, educate your buyers, and you could do this through your drip campaigns. Just, you know, this doesn't have to be a physical conversation. You could take one-liners, right, and send that stuff out to your sphere. You could text stuff. I text some things to my top agents today about the market, right? I know now all y'all like, text it to me. I will. If you're on here, I'll text it to you. But it was just a great little thing. You could do that. Text them stuff here and there when you run across it. Saw this article, I thought about you. Assage buyers' fears. Create a best buy list. Create a best buy list. That's cool. Show them houses that meet their needs and wants, and then facilitate a decision to buy a house. Right. That's through that buyer consultation. So I hope y'all got some takeaways out of this. I only see Jordan, Dawn, Sean, Natasha, Sherry, Face. So all y'all gonna get my little secret text today. Everybody else, they're not getting. Okay, Miss Johnson, I see you jump on there. I'm just joking. Michelle, oh, Mr. Shields, I got you, boo. But no, guys, give me some feedback. It's right at 12. I can't get out of here without one or two ahas, like one or two things that you may have written down or you heard that was like, okay, cool. One or two.
Well, I screenshotted a few of the slides that I'm gonna be using. The one slide that really got me is, you know, the last one being an expert, doing your research, make sure your buyer is mentally prepared to buy in this market and not just window shopping, you know, so you won't be out here wasting your time.
Got it. Okay.
I also appreciate doing that buyer's consultation, because if you don't know, you won't know. And then you'll be riding around all over the place with these high gas prices.
100%.
Exactly. Thank you. Mhm.
Yes. Yes. And we do have some chat going on, guys. I was joking. I promise you I'll send the text to everybody. Francis laughed at me, but I see Davita on here. Paula Foster said the information was good. As a new agent, it was all helpful. Love that. Sherry Angela says she agreed with you. And somebody said sale wise the best time to buy. Yep. Well, listen, guys, thank you guys so much for being on here. I was so against doing Zoom, but we had 38 people on here. So I guess the market is talking to me. Got to do more Zoom classes. And y'all was participating. So I feel good
Yes.
after that.
Don't be against it, baby. Come on.
Yes,
on,
it's great for us
positive.
dual agents. We can't
Yeah.
come into the office all the time. Like I'm working and working.
I love
Yeah,
it.
baby, right.
No, I'm serious. Like if I could get the faces on the screen, then I'm all with it, man. Just sometimes when you're doing Zoom, you feel like you're just talking to yourself. But
We
but I love it. I do
Sure.
love it. You guys were a great audience today. And I keep the conversation going, guys, and really jump on that shift call from 8 to 8:20 is a great way to start your day. All right,
Yes.
guys, we are 3
No.
minutes over. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was very helpful. Thank you
All right,
so much,
very
Terrell.
helpful.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.